So, how do you go from being a best kept secret to a client's first choice? If you are a freelancer listening to this and you are struggling to find high paying clients, get your popcorns because we are about to talk about that and you'll walk away excited. So, today we are talking about the three personal branding mistakes that keep freelancers broke. I'm not alone today. We have an amazing guest, Shabbir Jasden, a LinkedIn branding expert and authority architect for top executives. He transforms vague online profiles into powerful client magnets, and he's here to reveal the costly branding mistakes that destroy a freelancer's earning potential. So, if that is your problem, he has also a free profile audit, and we'll talk about that before we end the show. So, Shabil, it's a huge pleasure to have you on the Freelancers mic. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, Lydia. It's a great opportunity. I'm doing really good. And yeah, always excited to be in one of these. So I'm ready to share some insights and also learn along the way.
Thank you so much. And for someone that is listening to this podcast for the first time and he's hearing your name, who is Shabir?
Yeah, so Shabbir is basically a very ambitious 24-year-old boy who started working when I would say he didn't need to work, right? And my passion was writing from the very start. My English teacher recognized my writing abilities, and that was when I was age 14. I used to write daily diaries, used to write short stories and stuff. Some of them got published in a local newspaper, and years passed by, and I kept reading, writing, and exploring along the way. And I remember that I was in one of my university classes when uh, this is something about me. I like to do my own expenses myself. It's not that my father cannot afford anything, but I just like to do stuff on my own. This is how I am. So I was lacking a bit of finances back then, and I tried to fulfill that through my skill of writing. That's when I entered freelancing. Started with content writing, then copywriting, and currently just as a full-on LinkedIn expert for CXOs and executives. So this is me in a nutshell. Currently, I'm working with executives who want to grow their authority, who don't have the time to stay on the platform, but still want to gain the benefits from it. So
Awesome.
this is a really short introduction about me.
You have an amazing journey and I'm happy to know you are growing. You're not where you started.
Yeah.
Okay, on to our first question. First, we are talking about the branding mistakes that are keeping freelancers broke. So, beyond just showing up consistently, what is this the single most critical yet most overlooked mindset, a shift or change that a freelancer must make to move their personal brand from being a digital resume to a true authority platform?
Yeah. So first of all, when a person has a LinkedIn profile, everyone has one today, but the core thing that they miss out on is positioning, what they want to position themselves as. I for a few months back then I was still making these mistakes, right? So positioning is what you are offering to the person in front of you, who is your target market, and why he or she should buy from you. This is the question you have to answer before you even write your first comment or post on LinkedIn. This is what most people fail to do so. The reason for this is that they see other people and just copy them. And most of the most of the people fail over here because firstly they have a mindset that they have to do everything, right? So they jump into doing everything and they lack on that specialization. So this is where the positioning comes in a lot. So one needs to be clear on what he needs himself or herself to be known as. That is the number one mistake people make. They don't have their positioning clear.
Wow. And if I may ask, how do I find that positioning? Like, this is who I want to be known.
So a lot of factors play into here. First of all, your inner calling, I would say. This is something that just a thought that comes to you that I really want to do this and I can be really good at this. For me, it was writing all the way along. And when you have that core, I would say, that core lever, then you can, of course, double down on that. And then you can choose a specific on what you have to do. Apart from that, market demand is a really important thing. You have to see what the market wants and what people around you want. Apart from that, the third thing is what experience you have in that field from the past, right? If you have done something already, you're bound to do it great for the next time as well. So why not capitalize on that and double down on what you already know really good at? This is how I think I how people can eventually start things off. Of course, there's no perfect way to do it. There are multiple fixes to it, and you learn along the way. You just cannot be that, yeah, I have my positioning clear, I'm gonna do it. When you're writing content on LinkedIn, you're gonna change your positioning a lot, but that will eventually bring you to the right part if you have the right thinking in your head.
Awesome. I love that. You are going to learn along the way, and it's not like you're going to get it right away. And one thing I know
Yeah.
about LinkedIn that you've mentioned is that you do not have that one thing straightforward. You change along the way as you write, you learn so many new things, and at the end of the day, you come to your point where you say, "This is who I want people to know me."
Yeah, exactly. And I would love to add something over here. Like if I talk about myself, I started as a content writer on LinkedIn. I because what I did was I wrote blog posts and affiliate articles for Amazon. Then I saw that writing is good, but I'm not really into this long form writing anymore. It doesn't pay really good, and it's a skill that is going to deplete as AI has come into the space because I've been doing this for the past 5 years. So OpenAI was already launched in 2019, and I was seeing AI content back then. So then what I did, I pivoted into personal branding, and that was the time when I was targeting coaches, founders, CEOs. Then I doubled down into coaches and consultants. And now I again came back to CXOs. So a person does learn along the way. You learn working with people, like how are you able to serve them? You eventually get that calling. And a really important factor were that for service providers, because I think this podcast would be focused to those people like us, right, who are here to make a living on LinkedIn. A really important factor is that the client feedback you get really helps you tone down your positioning. If your clients don't stay for a lot of months, there's something wrong with your system. There's something wrong with your positioning. If you have got retainer clients for 1 to 2 years, you're doing something right. Keep doing that. So this is my personal journey on that stuff. And that's why I pivoted to just focusing on CXOs who don't have a lot of time and still want to grow.
Wow, I love your focus. Like you already niche down and you focus. This is the specific person I want to work with. Thank you for that point. And
Yeah.
we often hear about adding value, but many content efforts still fall flat. Like you try, you don't get likes, you don't get impressions, you don't get conversions, and sometimes you get discouraged. So, in your work with CXOs, what does authentic value actually look like in practice for freelancers, and how is it different from just sharing tips? Because that is what most people do.
Yeah. So I always have this filter when working with clients. I just ask them, the stuff that you're writing, is this just a Google search away? If it is, your piece is no good. Just discard it. It needs to be coming from personal experiences, from stories. This is said a lot in LinkedIn content that you need stories, you need this. But the reason for this is simple. People connect with human beings. Humans connect with humans at the end of the day. And the stories are stories. I always say this because I'm into fishing a lot. So yeah, stories sell better than freshly caught fish.
Wow.
Yeah. The reason for that is simple. When you read something, even if you read a novel, I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and stories always kept me hooked. The book that I finished in weeks, I couldn't finish the same pages of books, or it was in my course subject, something like that. So I hope that makes sense. So the point I'm trying to make here is that most CXOs I work with fall flat because they're just giving tips like everybody else. They're just saying these 5 tips will help you. For example, if I'm working with a rubber manufacturer, for example, he's gonna tip 5 tips to make you stand out in the rubber manufacturing industry, 5 ways to spot better suppliers in this industry, 3 types of rubbers you can make. This is all a Google search. Really care about this.
I love how you say it. Like if it's
Yeah,
just a Google search
just
away,
give me a
then
second.
you are not probably doing something.
Yeah, exactly. That is the thing. And apart from that, if you ask me how I solved that specific problem, I have a really, really lengthy onboarding form I send to my clients, right? So that includes all of that necessary stuff, like what really keeps you awake at night, and what is the one myth that you think should be broken, or something, questions like questions that make them uncomfortable, because often great stories come out of those places that we're hiding from. People need to be authentic on LinkedIn. It's simple as that. You just need to share your true self. Don't polish yourself. Don't over polish yourself. Just be your true self. Everyone on LinkedIn knows I like pizza. I always say it on comments and stuff that I'm a guy who loves pizza and fishing. I don't know. I just like to say it. It makes me more human, and I'm able to connect with better people.
So you mentioned about the onboarding, and you reminded me I did this week's episode was about the freelance onboarding process to make sure that there are no scope creeps during the project, because that is where we fail. We do not take the clients through the process. So thank you for that reminder. And about staying authentic and overlaying value over tips, I totally agree with you. So if you can share tips, that one everyone can go Google and then find the tips. But if you are actually sharing something out of your lived experience, then it makes sense and it pulls people to you. Plus, you showing that you are the expert. That is what you're telling people, this is why I want you to come to me and not the other person. Thank you. Allow me to make this announcement. For any VS in that exact position who are struggling to find clients and are ready to move from invisible to hired, I want to point you to a super amazing free resource that I have created. It's called How to Land Your First Three Clients as a Virtual Assistant, and it will walk you through the steps to land your first client. So the link, I'll add it in the show notes. Yes, and you'll go and download it. Yes. Now, let's talk about the third mistake that freelancers make when doing their branding, and it's keeping them away from having those amazing clients. So, if a freelancer's profile is experiencing a slow death, what's the very first non-negotiable action you have them to take to wake up or resuscitate it and start attracting better clients?
Yeah. So if you're just talking about clients, I don't see that in isolation. I think that you have to do multiple things. If the content is dead, because most of the time what we see is content isn't getting any traction, right? No impressions, very little engagement and stuff. For that, I always recommend people to comment more. Comment more than you post. You can post 7 days a week. That's the maximum you can do. You can do it 2 times a day, but commenting, you can have so much leverage over that. And LinkedIn has now also intro introduced comment impressions. So that connects you with potential clients you're not even aware of. This is the first thing you have to do if your content isn't getting any traction. If you're just focused on getting clients, just DM all day long. Just do 100 DMs a day, just like Alex Hormozy tells you to do. That's how you get clients. However, if you want the inbound engine to become strong, because commenting is a key when it comes to profile reviewers, because eventually if you have a LinkedIn Premium, you can check out who is viewing your profile, right? And when you comment more, eventually get a bump in those numbers, and that connects you with potential clients as well. If you want them to come to you directly, just like a magnet, rather than chasing them around. If you are an outreach guy, if you like outreaching people, DMing people, and if you want to get clients fast, DMs are the way to go. I got my first 10 clients from DMs basically. The content did the work after that.
Wow, you need to teach me that. And how do you do those DMs? Like, do you just bombard someone? You go to his DM directly and start saying, you know, my virtual assistant, you know, a visibility strategist. How do you do that?
Yeah, so the thing is that I've actually experimented a lot in this case. This is what is working right now. This is the philosophy I go by. If a message can be sent to 10 people, copy pasted, that message deserves to be in the trash. You cannot send the same message to everyone. You have to personalize it. You have to make efforts. So this is what I do. I finalize a list of ICPs I don't send them a connection request first. I engage with them on their content. That's what I do. If I get a positive reply, if I get a reply or a like on my comment, it is then when I send them a connection request, right? Then I appreciate them for accepting my request and eventually move them into a conversation. The core over here is to help them, not sell them. They're not posting content regularly, or they're just reposting stuff from other people, or they're not commenting a lot, or their profile just doesn't have a background. There are a few things missing in your profile. I would love to show you and help you how you can improve them. Make it something like they can do it on your own, on their own. And if you can get them on a call that way, that is the best thing. Around, I would say, if not 80%, around 70%, when they're on a call with you, there's already that connection built up, right?
Yeah.
So this is how I do. And of course, uh, money is in the follow-ups. The first message doesn't get a reply as always. It hardly gets a reply. So follow up after 2 days with a new message. After 4 days, after 7 days, don't give up. Just keep following up. And eventually, after the fourth follow-up, if there's still no reply, move on to the next person. There's enough fishes for everyone. So yeah, that's what you should do. And keep it human. Try to help them, not sell them. The core principle.
Wow, I love that. And you mentioned about commenting and the impressions. I know LinkedIn introduced that one recently, and something that is surprising me about the comments is that sometimes you write a post, it doesn't get that much attention, but you go to someone's post and comment, and then you get that attention. The impression blows up, and you're like, LinkedIn, what are you doing?
Yeah, so it's basically how the algorithm works, right? If there's someone posting with 100,000 followers, his post is getting like 1,000 to 2,000 likes. When you're early on his post to comment, your comment is going to get that visibility. It's free visibility basically. If you're on the right time and you're on with the right comment. However, I would love to break the cliche here. Most people say commenting on big creators' profiles. I don't do that anymore. And I teach people to not do that as well. This might sound controversial, and there are different ways to get visible. If you want to leverage commenting properly, you have to comment on your ICP's posts. So eventually you can build trust in the DMs. Apart from that, you need to comment on people like you, your peers, or your competition. Just make this clear your own post or comment on your own post. If they want to buy from you, they'll just DM you. They won't like your post. They don't have the time. Those who will like your post and will get your impressions up are your competition. People like you, people with low followers, people who need support. So you need to focus on those two groups, the ICPs and the competition. Dish the big creators, they have enough people already chasing them to get visibility. Comment impression from that is just going to get you a few followers, and that's pretty much it. I've done this for a long time, and I've finally come to this conclusion that commenting on big creators' profiles does no good to you. That's eventually a trap people fall into because they kind of get that adrenaline boost that yeah, my comment just got 30 likes, my comment got 100 likes, a comment that got 100 likes. It was really crazy for me. Like, how on earth can a comment get 100 likes? My post hardly gets that many likes, right? So that's basically free visibility. But of course, it doesn't do you any good. So comment where it's needed.
Wow, awesome. I love that. You have given so much detail about commenting, and thank you for that. So you mentioned about your free profile audit. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So this is a kind of interesting thing. I used to do it on just like this, sharing my screen with the ring light on. What I did was I opened a profile, for example, coaches back then I was targeting. I just went through the profile elements step by step. First of all, I talked about the banner, that there are three things missing in your banner. First thing I always talk about is a value statement. I help X to Y through Z. This is a value statement format. Who you are helping, how you're helping them. Second thing is a brand face. I always say that rather than just book a call or visit my YouTube, bring a specific call to action over that, like DM me growth for a free profile audit is my current one. So these three factors are about the banner. And then I move on to the headline. I talk about the value statement over there as well. And then the other elements such as the custom link. This is all in the top part of the profile. on the header, right? So these things need to be really crystal clear and really optimized, because that's the first thing. Custom link. So I recommend people to have a custom link over there rather than a custom button, because you can customize custom link. For the buttons, you have limited options. And then we move on to the about section. For the about section, I have this understanding that the PASS framework works really good. It stands for problem, agitate, solution. Talking about the problems of your ICPs first, then agitating those problems and talking about the pains that emit through those problems if they're not solved. And then S for solutions on how you can solve those problems for them. So this gives them a breakdown on how you are the right person for them, and eventually ending it with a call to action about sections. And topping it with the most important section, if you can guess it, it's the featured section. It's the most clicked section of your profile, and this is where the conversions happen. Banner, they read your about section. Now, for the featured section, they want to make an action. Give them a website link. Give them a place to go where they can move into that conversion wheel or know about more about you. That's how I frame the audit, and yeah, that's what I do in the audits. Basically, it's a 10-minute video, and that's a free thing I offer people.
I love that. That's a detailed explanation of what you do for the free audit. Thank you so much. Anything else that you would like the listeners to know about you, or maybe you have something else to share?
I would say that if you're on LinkedIn, if you're not getting the numbers you think you're doing a lot, just don't quit, please. Because I remember the people I started with, two people I started with. One was my inspiration to begin, who has already quit LinkedIn. It's quite heartbreaking. I started with that person. He was my inspiration and he has quit, because eventually the algorithm doesn't always favor you. You're not paying him rent. You're not paying the algorithm rent, so it doesn't favor you always. The stuff keeps changing. My post once got 100 plus likes. Currently, reach is down for everyone, but my focus has shifted. So try to focus more on what turns the conversion wheel for you. That's what I would say. If it's getting more views for you, go for it. If it's getting more clients for you, go for it. Everyone has different goals, but the last thing is the same. Just don't quit. You can never lose if you don't quit. Just keep going. Ask for help. People are always willing to help if you ask them. So just keep going, keep supporting everyone, and keep the community alive. Keep LinkedIn like it is, better than Instagram, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never enjoyed using Instagram, but once in a while I pop in there, but it's not my favorite place.
Yeah, same here.
Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, thank you so much for joining us in this amazing episode of the Freelancers Mic on the branding mistakes that freelancers are making and they're keeping them broke. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the share button. And if you want more information on branding, you can check out Shab LinkedIn profile. It has all the information plus the free audit. Reach out to him. Yes, thank you so much.
If you want to see the light,
Thank you.
you gotta learn, you can't get it wrong. If you ever want to get it